I'm the Lower Paxton Township Manager, and in typical fashion, I'm going to give a brief summary of tonight's agenda, particularly for the benefit of those who may be watching at home on television. So the Board of Supervisors meets tonight in business session of the board. They have a number of items under old business to discuss and take action on, including action on Resolution 22-17, which appoints a investment manager for the township's various pension plans. Also taking action on Resolution 22-18, which likewise appoints a custodian to the aforementioned township pension plans. Following this, the board will jump into new business, first with a presentation on an update to the Heroes Grove Project Phase 3. After that, the board will take action on Resolution 22-19, which authorizes the submission of a grant request to the Commonwealth Financing Authority for the Parks and Recreation Department. After this, the board will take action on application for payment number 1, which is in regard to the Wrightville basketball court resurfacing project. Following this, the board will take action on a number of subdivision and land development items to include action on Ordinance 22-03, which amends the zoning district, which amends the zoning ordinances to include permitting by right conveyorized car washes within the RRD zoning district. Next, the board will take action on the final subdivision plan for Wilshire Estates Phase 2B, after which they will take action on the preliminary and final land development plan for Chick-Fil-A. Finally, the board will take action on improvement guarantees and the payment of township and authority bills. Finally, hearing any final announcements and taking action to adjourn. With all that said, the members of the board are seated and prepared to conduct business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gottschall. We'll call this meeting of the Lower Paxton Township Board of Supervisors to order. We'd like to ask everyone to please rise. We're going to recite the pledge as led by Supervisor Zumas.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll now move to approval of minutes, this from the business meeting of February 1st, 2022. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from February 1st, 2022.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
The Board of Supervisors did meet in executive session prior to this meeting and will do so again following. Now is the time for public comment. Public comment is for any item not on the agenda tonight. If you're here to speak to an agenda item, we'll have comment at that time. So is anyone here who would like to speak to the board on an item not on the agenda tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to chairman and board member comments. Board members, do we have any comments?
This week is National Public Works Week. I'd like to thank our Public Works Department and Director Tim Nolt for all that they do for the township with our roads and our parks. Last night, Mr. Zumas and myself, we are delegates to the Council of Government. We attended, excuse me, I'm thinking tonight's Tuesday. It was Monday night. And they had somebody from R2 there. They were talking about the MS4 and stormwater. And Mr. Minsker, who usually joins us at our meetings, he gave a presentation on the 250th for America and what Dauphin County was doing. We also had Doug Brown there from Dauphin County. He talked about the gaming grants, and they are open. If anybody's listening and wants to apply for any of the gaming grants, you can apply between May the 1st and August the 1st. They also have money in their infrastructure bank, so the pre-applications are also due. And Paul, maybe you know a little bit more about this than what we were told. Dauphin County received a mental health award. Yeah, so if you would like to, Doug just told us that they received an award if you wanted to talk about it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we just received a mental health award for the co-responder program and the work that we've been doing here in Dauphin County for mental health with the co-responder.
Yeah, he said there's 8 co-responders, which we have one. Brad, do we have half another one downstairs or just the one?
We have just the one for mental health, but we also have one for children and youth.
Oh, children and youth, okay. And then they also said they have 250 trained responders also that are helping around the county, so, yeah.
And not to jump the gun, but we're also, I mean, there's a co-responder program for drug and alcohol also, so we've been, looking at that to try and hopefully see if we can get something for there, so, yep.
That was it.
You want to mention tomorrow night's award ceremony?
I don't know, Brad? No.
Yeah.
He said no.
Anybody else? Any other comments? Okay. With that, the manager's report, Mr. Godshall.
Yes, sir. Members of the board here. I just have one item for you this evening, and that is to dovetail off of Mrs. Lindsay's comments here relative to the gaming grants. As she just mentioned, it's that time of year again. Today I did put out a memo which should look familiar to our community groups, which establishes the timeline for this year's township review of the Dauphin County local share gaming grant applications. The memo, which has been shared to the website and to also the former applicants to the program, notifies the public that the board's June 14th workshop agenda will be set aside for presentations of all grant applications, followed by action on support resolutions from the board to those applicants during your June 21st business meetings. So I ask that all Lower Paxton applicants have your application packets to my office by Friday, June 10th, so they may be included in the June 14th board agenda packet. So that would allow all the applicants to have their full packets to the county by the September 1st deadline. So other than that, that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll now move to old business. We first need to take action on Resolution 22-17, appointing a police, non-uniformed, and length of service award program pension plan investment manager. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution before you tonight is the formal action by the board for a motion that took place at our Tuesday, May 3rd business meeting, which selected a pension plan investment manager, PFM. That motion allowed us to give proper notification under the required Act 44 requirements for pension plans, and that gave us time for any contest or concerns addressed from any of the proposals. It's been quiet since, so this is our formal action to accept PFM, and this will give them the authorization to then issue the initial contracts and work on the conversion of our pension plan investments.
Okay, we have discussed this at previous meetings, but any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve action on Resolution 22-17, appointing a police non-uniformed and length of service award program pension plan investment manager.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Item 8B, we need to take action on Resolution 22-18, appointing a police non-uniformed and length of service award program pension fund custodian. Again, Mr. Miller, in line with our last discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Very briefly, so this individual party that holds the investment funds and assists with the provision of benefits, that would be U.S. National Bank.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miller. We now need to proceed to new business, and under new business, we are first going to receive an update on the Heroes Grove project. We're to phase 3, and Christine Hunter is with us again, and I see that Vince Otto is here also. So welcome to both of you. And Christine, just make sure the microphone is turned on, if you would.
Thank you, Christine. How are you?
Thank you.
Good evening. We appreciate the time this evening. We wanted to give you an update on Heroes Grove Phase 3, which is a restroom concession building that will serve the amphitheater that has been constructed in, the first 2 phases of the amphitheater were constructed with, the stage, the seating, and then last year we completed Phase 2 with the roof and storage building. And we just received bids for Phase 3, the restroom concession building. We have been working for many years to bring this to realization, and Heroes Fund, Inc. has raised significant funds. To date, the township has not had to participate financially at all in the construction. We do find, due to the increased construction costs, that our bids came in higher than anticipated, and so we're here to ask you for some financial support in order to enable us to construct this Phase 3. We're asking for up to $100,000 in support, and there's a budget summary that explains what all those costs are involved there. We have secured $440,000 in funding for this phase. $264,000 of that are in grants that will expire next June. If we don't use them, they will expire. We've already extended them twice because of our efforts at fundraising, and we know that at least one of them has said that they will not extend it any further. So at this point, we really need to either move forward or lose the funding that we have obtained to this point. The entire Heroes Grove project will cost $1.7 million, over $1.7 million. And so the amount that we're requesting, the support from the township, is less than 6% of that total cost. What I'm asking you tonight is to authorize me to issue an intent to award to the low bidder, the apparent low bidder, which is ECI Construction, so that they can prepare the contract, insurance, and bonding, and then we can bring that to you in June for approval of the contract. And then you'll see that part of that packet is a request for a small amount of additional professional fees for our firm. As there have been a lot of complications and delays in the project, we're asking for funding to complete the construction administration. So those are the requests to authorization for me to continue the process and prepare the contract for Phase 3 contractor construction.
Board members, any questions?
I just have a question for Steve, a legal question. Steve, 3 of us sit on that committee, and we have been cleared to vote. We've never had to vote on the township giving the committee money. So my question is that legal?
This is a little more difficult than the issue we ran into before. I mean, since you're voting on basically on both boards, I think you probably shouldn't do that. Somebody could find a conflict of interest because there's money going from one entity to another.
Right. That was my question. So that leaves only 2 votes then.
How do we do that, since it takes 3 votes to pass something here and that only leaves 2 votes on the board?
Said he'll vote if it ends his project.
Would it be necessary for one of us to resign from Heroes Grove?
That would probably be the easiest solution.
Okay. However, we are also missing Mr. Judd this evening,
Correct.
so even that doesn't get us to 3 votes.
Now,
What does this do to your schedule if we delay action on this to the first meeting in June?
so actually, the action would be awarding the contract, approving the contract. And I'm not asking for that formal approval of a contract. I don't have the contract drafted at this point, but just, I think if I get an indication that I can move forward with the contractor to prepare those documents, then at the June 7th meeting, that could be, an approval of the contract.
So we do not need to take any official action tonight, just
Correct.
say it's fine by us if you move forward and then bring us that in June.
Right.
Okay, why don't we move forward with that, and then between now and June, the first meeting in June, we will figure out how we can make it possible for 3 members to participate. One of us is gonna have to fall on the sword, so, okay,
Thank you very much.
sure thing.
We appreciate,
We'll work that out.
appreciate your consideration.
We also need Mr. Judd to be present for that vote, so.
And I'm not offering any legal opinion, but it is, the facility is owned by Lower Paxton Township. There's no ownership of anything by Heroes Fund, Inc. They have raised funds to enable it to be constructed, but they don't own it. The township owns it.
Uh-huh.
So it's the township utilizing funds for a township facility. And I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
Right,
that
but you have a
was-
very good point.
that might have
You
been
have a
out
very
of
good
line.
point.
I
Does
Yeah.
that really
apologize if
change
I-
the equation then?
It
Since
could.
it's us spending money on our own
As
facility?
long as you're not giving Heroes Grove the actual money to spend, I think, if the township spends the money on its own facility, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, that puts a different spin on it, doesn't it?
The contract for construction will be in the township's name. All the construction has been done. It's the township's name. To date, all of the costs have been paid by grant funding
Right.
and contributions by Heroes Fund, Inc. But it's the township's land, the township's facility, the township's contract with ECI Construction.
So we own it.
You own it.
So basically what's happened is you have contributed money to a facility owned by the township, not the other way around.
Correct.
And we're not receiving any financial benefit in any way, right, Steve?
That's correct.
So when we pay the bill, the township would just pay ECI. Okay.
We don't pay Heroes Grove. So really Heroes Grove Inc. isn't involved in the
Okay.
transaction
Well, I
at
didn't know
all.
because there was money involved. That's why I asked the
Oh,
question.
that's a good point, and I'm glad you did, but the fact that it's our facility and we own it, and we're just paying a bill to improve our own facility, and no dollars go to Heroes Grove, seems to me, Steve, we're correct, that really removes a conflict.
That's correct.
Okay, well, then thank you, that's all
Okay.
that.
Okay, well, thank you, Christine. Maybe you missed your calling.
Definitely not.
Would you like to be our solicitor?
Definitely not.
Steve wasn't paying attention to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in any event, go ahead and move forward, yes. And then we'll take whatever official action we need to take at our first meeting in June.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay,
And we
thank
all get
you.
to stay on the Heroes Grove Committee.
Oh, you bet.
Thank you. And thank you both for the time you've put into it. This has been, how long, Vince?
21 years. 2003?
Wow, 21 years this project, and it'll be good to get it done.
Oh, you bet.
Thank you both.
Okay, thanks.
See you, Vinny.
Okay, well, I'm glad we worked through all that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robin, for bringing that up. Okay, hopefully the next one's a little easier. We need to take action on Resolution 2219, authorizing the submission of a Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program grant application to the Commonwealth Financing Authority. Mrs. Scott, good evening.
Good evening. Today I present to you Resolution 22-19 for the Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Grant in the amount of $250,000 from the Commonwealth Finance Authority to be used for the Wrightville Park Development Project. You may recall last month I presented a resolution for the DCNR grant. The funding received through the CFA grant could be applied towards the matching requirements of 50-50 for that DCNR grant. This is being done in an effort to maximize the funding available for the Parks Revitalization Project. The Wrightville Park Redevelopment Project will provide a half-mile, 9-foot wide path around Wrightville Park, allowing pedestrians and bikers. It will additionally be to include a new inclusive ADA accessible playground. This time, if there are any questions, I ask that you approve this resolution 22-19.
Any questions? Okay, hearing none. Any public comment or question? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve Resolution 22-19, authorizing the submission of a Greenways Trails and Recreation Program grant application to the Commonwealth Financing Authority.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. I was just going to ask you how the basketball court's coming along, and I see that's our next item.
Yes.
It's under construction, correct?
It is. The construction phase is wrapped up. However, we are striping the lines on the court this week, so it will be all
Okay.
set for the June 6th first day of Wrightville Basketball League.
Good.
Excellent, excellent.
We have a lot of kids signed up, Rachel.
We have 60 teams with 645 kids registered, and I believe 111 volunteer coaches participating this year.
They'll be excited because of last year having to go to Coons, so
Yeah.
that's good.
We're actually having to expand over to Coons this year,
Okay.
again, because of how many teams we have.
Great,
Good.
wonderful. This comes at a cost, however, so we do need to take action on an application for payment number 1 from J&S Paving and Excavating for the Wrightville Park Basketball Court Resurfacing Project. Mr. Godshall.
Yes, sir. Members of the board, pay application number 1 authorizes payment in the amount of $151,838.50 to the contractor J&S Paving and Excavating Corp. for the Wrightville Park Basketball Court Resurfacing Project. At this point, the pay application has been recommended by the township engineer and staff for board approval this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you may have so.
Any questions?
Brad, are they local?
Maybe I can't answer any question, but
No, they are not. I can help you out with
Rachel,
that
are they
one.
local?
Thank you,
No,
Rachel.
they are, I believe, in the Downingtown area.
Okay, but they came highly recommended by HRG.
Correct.
Okay.
Do not leave open-ended suggestions, Brad. Any other questions?
Brett, is this the one that recently had a change order?
No, there was no change order. This was part of the grant that I had wrote last year for the gaming grant for $150,000. So we were able to apply $70,000 of that gaming grant towards this application.
that change order, sir, was for the stormwater project.
Yeah. that's-
Okay.
Yeah, the 300-some thousand.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve payment number 1 in the amount of $151,000, $838.50 to J&S Paving and Excavation Corp. for the Wrightville Park Basketball Court Resurfacing Project.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we need to move on to subdivision and land development. We will begin by taking action on ordinance 22-03. This amending Chapter 203, Article 3, Section 319 of the Codified Ordinances permitting by right conveyorized car washes in an RRD zoning district. And Mr. Stein will conduct the public hearing. Mr. Stein?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is time and date set for the public hearing on ordinance 22-03, which would amend Chapter 203, Article 3, Section 319 of the Codified Ordinances permitting by right conveyorized car washes in an RRD zoning district. Mr. McCombie, would you like to make some comments initially before I open up for public comment?
Yes, please, if that's all right.
Sure.
Thank you. Good evening, Supervisors. Thank you for having us this evening. My name is Esh McCombie. I'm an attorney with McNeese, Wallace, and Nurick in Harrisburg. Sitting to my right is Nick Ord with Shiny Shell Car Wash. And over my back shoulder to the right is Ron Sakari with Snyder Sakari and Associates, a division of Pannoni, the engineer for the project. We're here this evening to request an amendment that would allow a conveyorized car wash in a residential retirement development, and that will establish regulations and limitations for that use. This process started last fall. We've worked with staff, met with the Planning Commission a couple times, and have hosted several meetings with the public and conducted surveys to receive feedback from the Blue Ridge development where this facility would be located. We have a pretty short presentation this evening. We'll start with Nick, giving you a little background on Shiny Shell and some of the outreach and surveys we've conducted. Ron will talk about the site location and go over the concept plan, and then I'll wrap things up with a description of the ordinance. So if there aren't any initial questions for me, I'm happy to hand it over to Nick. Thank you.
Yeah.
McCombie, M-C-C-O-M-B-I-E.
My name is Nick Ord, O-R-D is the last name. Good evening. I just wanted to give a brief background on our business. I believe all of you are familiar with our proposal and this project. Just as an overview of Shiny Shell Car Wash, we are in Coldwater Capital. We are owner-operators of our business, meaning that we're the ones that are going to be here in the township running the day-to-day of our operation. We're not a developer that's going to be looking for an outside franchisee running our operation. Our business is a unique car wash. It's not your maybe typical car wash that you're used to seeing. The facility is not open 24 hours a day. It's a conveyorized building where customers pull onto the site. They pull through an automated facility that's conveyorized, and that cleans their car in less than 3 minutes. Customers, as they pull out of the car wash, have the opportunity to pull into a parking lot where they can vacuum out their own car. We provide some extras for them that they can do. At Shiny Shell Car Wash, our three biggest focuses are our people, the community, and our assets. So when I say people, we're focused on our team members. We provide jobs here in the community. We hire locally, and we provide jobs that give benefits and upward mobility, career paths, things of that nature. We're committed to the community. We often, with many of our other facilities, we partner with the community for fundraisers, whether it's high schools or a number of different groups. We're committed to the community and in an environmentally way as well. So with the water that we use on our facility, we recycle and reclaim about 70% of our water. It goes through advanced filtration systems so that we can reuse that. In addition to that, all of the water, all of our wastewater that before it goes into the sewer system passes through our advanced filtration and sediment filters before anything is deposited into the sewer system. That's just a little bit about us. I know you happy to answer more questions about our business specifically, but just to kind of back up a little bit on the process that we've been going through since fall, as for our proposed text amendment. As we've worked with staff and as we worked with the Planning Commission, one of the biggest things that was asked of us was to seek resident impact of Blue Ridge Village. We know that that's a new development, a lot of new residents in there. The business that we were proposing there is alongside the commercial uses along Lingelstown Road. We were asked to, go and get feedback from the residents. So what we've done up to this point, we held first a meeting with just the Blue Ridge Village HOA. So the members of that HOA, we were able to answer their questions, hear their concerns, try to incorporate that and how we might be able to address those. Following that meeting, which went well, the HOA helped us to organize an open house event. That open house event we held in February. That event was sent out to all residents that live in Blue Ridge Village to come out, learn a little bit more about our business, ask any questions, and also provide feedback to us. So we held that event in February. Following that, we did send out a online survey to residents at the request of the Planning Commission. When we went back to the Planning Commission, we presented those results. We got the feedback that the results, they didn't feel like asked a very direct question. So we went back in the last month to go back and survey the residents. And the question that we asked in the last month was, do you support a Shiny Shell Car Wash being built at Blue Ridge Village? The format of that survey we decided to conduct in person. The reason that being is we felt that because our business is unique, it provided an opportunity for us. There's an educational component to the business so that we could kind of share a little bit about what makes us unique and why it's maybe not like other car washes. So the format of that survey was mainly door to door, with the permission of the HOA. We went door to door to all of the all the occupied and townhomes and single family homes in Blue Ridge Village. If you scroll up just a little bit, one more slide right there. There we go, perfect. So we were able to contact or get responses from 80 individuals. And of those 80 responses, 83% of them voted yes, that they were in support of our project. 6% voted no. 11% did not want to sign. If you go down, there's just a quick breakdown on how those were broken out, based on the resident type that were in there. It's essentially my point here is that the townhomes, we attempted to contact 39 occupied townhomes. Of those 39, 7 of them we were unable to contact. We tried multiple times. We were unable to get any response. Of the remaining responses, we received 28 votes in favor, 3 against our project, and 1 that did not want to sign either way. If you scroll down to the next slide there, single-family homes, we were able we attempted to contact 40 occupied single-family homes. Again, we received 31 responses. 21 of those were in favor of the project, 4 were against, and 6 did not want to sign either way. And then if you go on to the next slide, please. For the apartment buildings that are in Blue Ridge Village, we were unable to go door to door to those residents because those doors are, you need a key fob to enter the building. We worked with the owner of the apartment building. They didn't feel comfortable with us going door to door, so we held a just kind of a neighborhood event, invited them to come out and hear a little bit more about the project, and then we sent out an online survey. And these were with the same question asked: do you support a car wash being built on Linglstown Road at Blue Ridge Village? And these are the results of that survey. 61% voted in favor of our project, 36.6% voted no, and I think that's about 2.5% that did not wish to answer. So kind of summing all that up, over the last 6 months or so, as we've been working with the township, we've really tried to seek the public's who live at Blue Ridge Village input on our proposed text amendment. We've received really strong responses. Many people are excited about the project and excited for us to hopefully be able to open our business there.
Thanks, Nick. Any questions for Nick on Shiny Show or the outreach?
Just a couple. Do the residents of Blue Ridge Village have any restrictions on washing their own cars in their own driveways?
I don't believe so. I'm not aware, but I don't believe so, not that I'm aware of.
I think the apartments, wouldn't have hookups, for it right there, but the townhomes and singles, I think they would not be prohibited from washing their own vehicles.
How many lanes are at the car wash?
So there are...
Why don't you come on up, Ron?
Yeah.
Ron can walk you through the site plan and answer those questions for you if you'd like. Go to the next slide, please.
Evening, Ron Sakari with Snyder Sakari and Associates. The plan that's up now, if you could reduce that down a little bit so it shows the whole thing, is an aerial view of Blue Ridge Village, and this will give you kind of site context. The site itself is shown outlined in red at the corner of Linglstown, Alexandra, and E.G. Drive. Actually, I have a pointer that I can highlight that. So that's the location of it. Surrounded by, now this is a little bit older of an aerial view, so as you know, there's been some continuous construction here, but there's commercial development to the east. There's vacant commercial land immediately to the northeast. We talked about the townhouses here, the apartments here, and the singles are even further away. And you can see the concentric circles that are depicted on the plan. That gives you distances from what would be the most proximal location of the building to the surrounding site. So you can see the relative distances that each of those components of the Blue Ridge are as they relate to the site itself. So if we can go to the next slide, we'll kind of, I think that reduced down. That's the site plan. And what you can see is the principal access is off of EG Drive. So cars will come in off of that drive into the site and advance southerly and then go to the east and up, I get around Esh's head, up around the facility. And these are the pay lanes, and there'll be 2 pay lanes located on the eastern side of the building. There's room behind those pay lanes for more than 26 cars to queue internally. And as Nick said, the average time for processing a car through the system is about 3 minutes. So they would advance from the pay lane into the wash tunnel, go through the wash tunnel, come out this end where the vacuum facilities are, and then exit out into where the outside vacuum facilities are. So if you elected to stop and clean out the interior of your car, every one of these stalls here are equipped with vacuum facilities, as I mentioned, and then obviously you would exit out the way you came in. So that's kind of a real quick 10,000 foot. We've looked at this a couple times before, but just to refresh your memory, that's kind of the site itself and also the context of the site within the overall development.
Brad, if you could go back up just a couple other points real quick. So you see on the plan, we've got the landscape buffer kind of coming around in this area. The idea here is that patrons stay in their vehicles as they're coming through. And a conversation that we had with the Planning Commission was about egress. And the Planning Commission members asked, if vehicles were coming out to Alexandria, they were very comfortable with them hanging a right coming out, but turning a left, there was some concern. So we had some conversations about putting a sign in here and directing traffic that wants to go eastbound to head down EG. And that's something that, if we move on to land development, that we can have further discussions about signage and kind of addressing those types of issues.
That would take them to a traffic light, right?
Yes, so that to making the left turn then much easier. That's correct. Any other questions on the site plan before we move into the ordinance itself?
Do you have any others in Dauphin County? Or is this your first one in Dauphin County?
Yes. We have we do, not operating yet. We have another one under construction in the township, in Lower Paxton Township on
Oh, you're building the one on
Jonestown Road.
Route 22?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's right. And then we've got another one under construction in Cumberland County over in Lemoyne Borough.
So this one here, is it going to look like the one that's on 22 with the real big roof on it and everything?
There's 2 going in on Route 22. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah,
Well, he's saying under construction, so I'm thinking it's the one at the Meadows.
Yes, it is.
Okay, because
It
the
is.
other one, they haven't started yet down the street, and I don't know what that one's called.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're
that's
where the Meadows.
Yes, and the idea is, yes, we would use a similar design. Of course, we would follow. I know there are some architectural components that are in place with all of those commercial uses that are there along the entrance to Blue Ridge Village. So we would comply and follow those and be able to go through that more as we go through the land development process. But our plan would be a similar facility to that one that you see being constructed there.
Okay, I'm just hoping it doesn't look odd compared to the other buildings there, because it's very tall and it is right there.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, that and I guess one thing that they're kind of shown on the plan that landscape buffer along that front side of that building that you can see down at the bottom is I believe is that 50 feet, Ron? 50 feet there. The building is going to be set much further back off of Linglestown Road as compared to the project that you're thinking of on Jonestown Road is set on that road.
Okay. And I might have asked this before, and if I did, I'm sorry. Is it one of those where you can pay so much a month and go through every day? I guess that's the new thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one of the main features of our facility that frankly most of our customers love. It's we offer what we call it a membership. You pay a below monthly fee and you can come every day if you wanted to. We see our business as becoming really a convenience for our customers. We're a stop along the way, on their way home or on their way to or from work. We see it as a use that provides a convenience for the residences there and fits well with the other existing commercial uses that are in that commercial center.
So if you don't have your package, you could still go through and pay.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with the ordinance, but is it a brushless or a brush type, soft brush? Does it have a dryer? How's that work?
Yeah. So we use state-of-the-art equipment, really what we think is the best that the car wash industry has to offer today. So our building is about it's a 130-foot long tunnel that's got car wash equipment. It's a conveyor that pulls you through there. Inside there, we've got a combination of soaps, detergents, waxes, ceramic waxes, brushes, high-pressure water, tire shine, blowers, and even a little we call it a buff and dry at the end. It dries your car.
So you pick the package you want?
Exactly. So to answer your question, most of our washes do use brushes. We do have options where if someone doesn't want to use a brush, they can tell the attendant that, and those can be retracted, is what we call it, where they're just not used on that vehicle.
And what are the hours of operation?
Our hours of operation are typically 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Will there be custard?
Your
one on Jonestown Road offers custard in the back. So.
That's right. That's right. I know we've still got to figure that part out. Yeah.
Okay.
When Starbucks, Loman.
Yeah.
Well, there's
exactly.
a Starbucks right down the street. Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
Any other questions for Nick?
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I guess I have a question. I'll be honest with you. We had the poll. I was at the polls yesterday, running around. I actually got a lot of questions about the car wash situation. I mean, you just said you're putting 2 in Lower Paxton.
Yeah.
What made you pick Lower Paxton, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. So we, as a business, I'd say it's really a supply and demand analysis. We are the car wash industry. There's been a lot of change in the last 10 years. This is kind of the new style of car wash. A lot of this is happening across other markets, across the country. If you go to other places in the United States, you see a lot of these facilities. And so as we kind of look at what's existing, our brand, we own and operate over 20 of these facilities. In a few different states. We have car washes in Florida, Georgia, and in Utah. The reason we've come to this area, one, I had lived here actually for a little while in the area, in the Harrisburg region, and just saw that there was an opportunity, but really as a function of supply and demand. We did not see a lot of these kind of newer style car washes here in the greater Harrisburg area. Specifically this township, the reason is we try to go to locations where we think it can be really convenience, a stop along the way for our customers. So we try to target roads that are busier roads, like Jonestown Road, like Linglestown Road, those kind of stops where it's as we mentioned, it's a quick, people can be in and out in 3 minutes and on their way. So really the driver there is, first we kind of identified the overall Harrisburg area as this is a market that we want to be in, want to operate in, and next it was finding those specific sites that we wanted to go to.
Sure. And that's obviously just your marketing and stuff like that. I guess my question, because we have, when I think of Linglestown Road, we have a on the corner, there is a car detailing. I understand it's
Yeah.
different than what you do. There is an existing, car wash that is up further. It's been there ever since I can remember, and I was born in this area. So, so the theme that I've been getting, and I've been following this on social media also over the, Lower Paxton Facebook pages and groups and all that stuff, is that we've got a lot of car washes. I mean, we've got a lot of them. Can't think of one in Derry Township. Can't really, and then you've got the truck stops out there, off of 39, so, but in Lower Paxton, we have a lot. So, and that was kind of the theme, especially yesterday at the polls when, people would come up, we were talking, boy, we're turning into the car wash capital of Dauphin County. So that's why I wanted to ask you what brought you to us, and if you've already got one, what's not taking you to another, municipality, like by the truck stops or whatnot. Okay.
Actually, I think when your two are finished, we'll have 9 car washes in Lower Paxton Township, so.
And I think there's a difference also, and maybe a good segue into the ordinance. The ordinance is specifically for conveyorized car washes. It's for the higher end car washes, and the way the ordinance has been set up is to essentially preclude or prohibit your old cinder block with the high power hose that we all used in the 80s and 90s on our cars. This is a different style of car wash and is intended to be at a higher level of use than some of the other ones that you might have in the area.
We also have 53,000 people in Lower Paxton Township, which means a lot of cars.
A lot of cars.
My assumption is you wouldn't be wanting to build this if you didn't see a market for building it?
Correct. And if I could go back to, as you talk about the detail shop that's down the way, we really do see ourselves as a different model. We're a business where it's a convenience. We don't think that we'll really be taking business from that detail shop that's further down the way. It's a difference. Someone wants to go and leave their car for an hour to really get in and be detailed versus someone who's quickly looking to get the exterior of their car cleaned. As we, having experience doing that in a number of different places, most townships or other cities that we're in have these existing or what we call self-serve car washes. We still are seeing quite a bit of demand for this style as well.
Well, I will have to give you credit. You did do a lot of work with connecting with the residents at Blue Ridge, keep going back and all that you've done. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Bradley, if you go to the map actually, please. And maybe zone in on the left side there where it's highlighted. So the ordinance was designed for the residential retirement developments. But similar to the RRD for Blue Ridge, it requires that a conveyorized car wash like this be located along an arterial street. And so that ends up really limiting where the ordinance would be applicable within the township. Certainly you have many tracts of, in your IN district, that's the kind of periwinkle color that you see everywhere. But there are very few undeveloped parcels in your IN district that are along an arterial road. You have the one that we are proposing up here, and then you have these 2 tracts down here that are contiguous. So it's really just 2 areas within the township that would be affected by the ordinance currently. Of course, somebody could come tear down a number of buildings, put an RRD in, and then a car wash would be available there. But I think the chances of somebody demolishing enough buildings for that large of a property are fairly low. So it has a limited effect overall on the township's map. To the next slide, please. And then these are the requirements or limitations. So, currently you have the retail stores, restaurants, cafeterias, coffee shops, adding in the conveyorized car wash up here. It must be abutting an arterial street, like I mentioned. The conveyorized, again, requiring that it be a higher level of car wash, more high-tech. Only one's permitted in each RRD. We wanted to limit the size, so it was limited to 55,000 square feet, so that you don't have a massive car wash with multiple drive-through locations. Again, to limit the size, we limited the vacuum stalls to not to exceed 20. And these vacuums, am I correct, are free to the public?
Correct.
So you would ask about the, how do you pay? You can go through the car wash on a one-time deal. You can get a monthly membership, or if you just are on your way home and, need to vacuum something out because the kids threw stuff all over the back seat like mine do, that's right there for you on your way in. The current zoning ordinance permits car wash operation until 10 o'clock at night, 7 until 10. We reduced it to 8 o'clock for these conveyorized car washes in the RRD district to acknowledge that this is a residential district. And so we didn't want them operating as late into the evening as what are allowed for car washes in your commercial districts. And then lastly, it must have a minimum of 1 employee on site at all hours. Those employees are there to answer questions, but they're also there to pick up trash. If somebody's blasting music while they're vacuuming out their car, to say something to them and to address any of those types of issues that might pop up. And this goes back to kind of the level of service that's expected at a car wash like this as compared to the cinder block car washes with a power hose. You have an attendant there to address these issues as anything might pop up. So we hope you've got a good understanding now of the ordinance itself and Shiny showing what the concept is for the site. But again, if there are any additional questions, we're happy to answer them.
How'd you come up with a name like Shiny Shell?
Good question. I guess our marketing team, we just wanted something that was kind of fun, unique. We liked the alliteration there, and we have kind of a turtle theme at our wash, and so that's where the shell comes from. So, shell of your car is going to be shiny, and we try to make it fun, and it's something that we do at our businesses, at our operations. I think most of the members here have maybe seen one of our videos we've presented in the past. Many of our locations, we have a little area for customers where they can go in, get a free drink, and we've got a little spray gun where kids can actually spray. A little spray gun goes through the glass, and they can spray cars as they're going through the car wash. And we try to make it's a very family-oriented environment.
Where's your home office from?
We're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, wow.
Let me ask you, on the one picture, there's a lot of neon lights. I mean, it looks amazing. My question is, when do they shut off? Do you shut the lights off at a certain time, or?
Yeah, so we do shut off our lighting when our business closes. Now we do keep some of the site lighting on that that would be allowed by the township more for a security purpose. But we do through the land development process, we'll go through a photometric plan and go through and work with any of the township's, I guess, ordinances as it regards to lighting.
Any further questions for the applicant? Seeing none, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to be heard on ordinance 22-03? Seeing no response, Mr. Chairman, it would be in order at this time to close the public hearing on ordinance 22-03, and the board may take action if it so desire.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. Would there be a motion on proposed ordinance number 22-03?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 22-03, amending Chapter 203, Article 3, Section 319 of the Codified Ordinances permitting by right conveyorized car washes in an RRD zoning district.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Mrs. Lindsay?
Aye.
Mr. Zumis?
Aye.
Mr. Henry?
Aye.
Mr. Navarro?
Nay. I'm sorry. I like it. I like the look of it. I like all those things. But I think I'm having a hard time, with the amount of car washes that we have and changing allowing that there. So I'm going to have to say no. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 3-1 is the vote? Okay, so the ordinance would then be approved. Okay. Thank you,
Congratulations.
gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, now we need to take item 10B, action on the final subdivision plan for Wilshire Estates, Phase 2B. And do we have somebody here? I guess Mrs. Zerby is going to
Yes.
fill us in on this one.
Yes, the final subdivision plan for Wilshire Estates Phase 2B will consist of a total area of 14 acres to be developed in accordance with the plan. Phase 2B will contain a total of 23 single-family dwelling lots with 1 open space lot. The site is in the R1 low-density residential zoning district and will be served by public sewer and water supply. There are no new waivers for this plan, and the plan was approved at the April 6th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. There are 4 administrative comments and 4 general comments to be satisfied prior to the recording of the plan. And there are 2 representatives from McNaughton with us here tonight.
If you would please come to the podium and give us your name.
Good evening. My name is Lauren McDaniel. I'm representing McNaughton Properties LP, who is the applicant in this matter. In attendance with me tonight is Mr. Joel McNaughton, also a representative of the applicant. We are seeking approval of the final subdivision plan for Wilshire Estates Phase 2B. It is located in the R1 low-density residential zoning district and is south of Devonshire Road and the existing Phase 2A of the same community. This plan will create 23 new single-family detached dwelling lots, which will be served by public water and public sewer. All aspects of the plan have been designed to comply with the township ordinance requirements, and as Amanda mentioned, no new waivers are being requested with this phase. We did have the opportunity to present this plan before the Lower Paxton Township Planning Commission last month and did receive a recommendation for approval. We received favorable recommendations from township staff, the township engineer, and from the Dauphin County Planning Commission. In regards to any of the comments, we are agreeable with all the comments and would accept them as conditions. For these reasons, we feel that the plan is in a position to be accepted this evening, or to be approved this evening. And unless there are any questions, we would like to ask for your approval of the Wilshire Estates Phase 2B final plan.
Board members, any questions?
And all the administrative items, there's 19, you're okay with everything?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
Just making sure, okay.
Any public question or comment? Seeing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the final subdivision plan for Wilshire Estates Phase 2B Plan 22-04.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
Have a good night.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Take care, Joel. 10C, we need to take action on a preliminary and final land development plan for Chick-Fil-A.
I suddenly got hungry.
Haven't had dinner yet, so this isn't appropriate.
All right, the preliminary final land development plan for Chick-fil-A proposes to redevelop the 1.10 acre property located at 5101 Jonestown Road. The lot is currently occupied by the Arby's restaurant and is in the CG General Commercial Zoning District. The scope of the project will include the demolition of the existing Arby's restaurant and the building of a new 2,934 square foot Chick-fil-A, which is a quick service restaurant. The proposed development will have associated site improvements that will consist of dual drive-through lanes, ordering and pickup canopies, and a reconfigured parking lot. A third lane will be available to be used as an ordering and bypass lane. In addition to the proposed site improvements, an underground stormwater basin is proposed due to an increase of impervious coverage and no known existing stormwater management MBPs on the site. The lot will be served by public sewer and water, and the plan was approved at the May 4th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. The applicant received variances from the Zoning Hearing Board for the maximum impervious coverage in a commercial general district, and also a variance to allow the dumpster to be placed within the required rear yard setback. The applicant has requested one waiver for the requirement to provide street trees, and staff recommends approval of this waiver due to not having adequate space along Jonestown Road to plant the trees. There are 3 administrative comments and 6 general comments that will need to be satisfied prior to recording of the plan. There are several representatives from Chick-Fil-A here this evening.
I don't see any samples.
So who's Mr. Chick-fil-A?
That would be bribes.
That would be a bribe, okay. Better we not have them then. Your name, please, sir.
Justin Thornton. I'm a civil engineer with Colliers Engineering Design. I'm here to represent Chick-fil-A this evening. Honestly, Amanda did a great summary, probably better than I would do. It might just be easiest if anyone has questions, I'm happy to answer them. I can go in as much or as little detail as you like.
You okay with all, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, from a safety standpoint, we've had some issues in the past concerning traffic backing up, going into a drive-through, coming back out on Route 22. And I just want to make sure you guys have given that some serious consideration, and that's not going to happen.
We have given that a lot of consideration. We've discussed it through with your staff. Our traffic engineer has worked with your traffic engineer as well, and we're comfortable with this plan.
I mean, I've never seen one that doesn't have parking, so you're going to move people through, I would think, pretty
Correct.
quickly.
The reason why we don't have a lot of parking for this Chick-fil-A is it's a drive-through only.
Exactly.
There is no interior seating.
Yeah, so you should be moving. I mean, you guys already moved. They already moved very quickly anyway.
Yes.
But even faster.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And honestly, this kitchen will be larger than the kitchens of the other Chick-fil-A's that you're familiar with around here. They've redid their layout inside. Like, this building is 100% pretty much kitchen here, since there's no indoor seating. So they have multiple equipment in there where previously they couldn't. It's a lot more efficient of a kitchen layout.
Yeah. And I think it's, as far as automation, are you going to still have people
We
there,
will.
or is it going to be
Yes.
more automated?
We will still have people outside with their iPads taking orders, and we actually have team members delivering food to the cars in the drive-through lane as well.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I have a 13-year-old, so I always tell him, I'm like, you should get a job, when you get older. But it's a good thing for, I mean, every time you go through, and I would go through Delaware, all different other states, and you always have these great kids that are helping, and so it's good for the community also. So yeah, thanks. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
I'm assuming people can order from home and then just pick it up?
Yes, you can still use the app and order. You can still use Uber Eats at this facility and have an Uber Eats driver or one of those other companies come pick up the food and leave. So yes, you can do that still. The only thing this one will be missing are the actual interior seats.
So you're okay with the 19 comments, and then there were another 24 comments?
Yes.
Okay. So I was in Myrtle Beach 2 weeks ago, and I noticed one popped up since I was there last August. And is that a drive-through only also?
In Myrtle Beach, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's the one right beside the Hooters
Yeah, I wasn't part of that
by
one.
Walmart? Okay. Yeah, it looks like one that, it looks like
There are a
one
lot
that
of
you're...
Chick-fil-A's around the country, Robin.
Well, this one is new, trust me. It's a brand new one since last August, and it kind of looks, we didn't go in, but it kind of looks like the same concept as what this one is going to be, so,
Yeah, that one's out of my region. I mean, I
Oh,
do them
okay.
in New York, New Jersey,
okay.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because when we saw it, we're like, oh, I think that's what we're building.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
They might also solve the traffic congestion at the other chicken place when they open up, so. More places for people to get it.
Yes.
This one's a franchise also, like the one on Lindell Road is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, I'd move that we approve action on a preliminary final land development plan for Chick-fil-A, plan number 22-08.
I assume you want to make a second?
Sure, second.
Okay, so moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
There you go, you're
Thank
approved.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you for sitting through all the other business to get to that. We do have improvement guarantees tonight, of which there are many. Any questions about any of them? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the improvement guarantees?
There are many.
There's a lot.
There's
Mr.
a lot.
Chairman, yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the improvement guarantees.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. This takes us to payment of bills for Lower Paxton Township and the Lower Paxton Township Authority. Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we approve payment of the bills for Lower Paxton Township and Lower Paxton Township Authority.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any additional announcements? Hearing none, the next meeting of the Board of Supervisors will not be until Tuesday, June 7th at 7 p.m. here in this meeting room. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
You had to get me, didn't you?
I had to get